Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Hey, today I'm going to talk about a subject that I think if you ask any Cambodian YouTuber what their least favorite subject is to talk about, I think this would be one of them, and that is the cost of living here. And I think we don't like talking about it because it's so dependent on individual lifestyles and choices. Like there's no one set amount or no one set number you can put on people who want to move and live here that they would be comfortable living on, you know? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an average. I'm not going to tell you my cost of living or anybody else's. I'm just going to go across the board and give you for the what I think is the average person and how much they could spend. And the reason I'm doing this is because, you know, I get new subscribers, and one of them sent me a very nice message, and he said, I'm only getting $800 a month. That's my budget, that's my limit. And I want to move to Cambodia, but I've checked out other places and it's just not feasible. So would I be able to do that in Cambodia? And so I'm making this video for him and of course for all of you as well. And before we get into that, let me remind you that I'm still awaiting my Social Security acceptance. I did get an email from the Social Security office in Manila, in the Philippines, because they handle all the cases in this part of the world. And on the 16th of last month, and they said, hey, we're going to call you to verify some information and process your application. And they still haven't even called me. So I don't know what's up with that. I'm still waiting. Hopefully really, really soon. But in the meantime, we could use your help if you want to help support us and support the channel. I have links down below for PayPal and Ko-fi.com. If you can and if you want to donate. I know times are hard for everybody. I understand that. I get it, man. I get it. But if you can and if you want to, check out those links. And of course, you can always purchase one or more of my books. You can buy them directly through me in PDF or EPUB format, or they're all available on Amazon as ebooks, paperbacks, or free if you subscribe to Kindle Unlimited. So you want to do any of those things, there are links down below where you can check all those out as well. So like I said, I am just going to go on an average, and what I think the average single retiree would need to retire here in Cambodia. Now, the thing about it is, it's based on your individual needs and wants, and you could go much higher than the $800 threshold. You could also go lower than the $800 threshold. That's one of the great things about Cambodia is you can live according to your means, according to whatever it is you can afford to spend every month. And I'm not going to talk about what I call one-offs. These are things when you move here, you get your first apartment, you might have to buy some things, you know, a tabletop cooker, you know, pots and pans and plates and dishes. Maybe you want a microwave, your apartment doesn't have one, so you're going to buy a microwave. But things like that you'll only buy sporadically when they break down every couple of years, 3 years, whatever. That's not included in here. This is going to be just about month to month. And I am going to base it on an average in Siem Reap, because I'm not sure about what that would add up to in other cities or towns in Cambodia, like Phnom Penh might be a little bit more expensive. Places like Kep or Kampot or Battambang might be a little less expensive. But I live in Siem Reap, so I'm going to use this town as my my guide. All right. So the first thing, of course, you want an apartment. So there are apartments here from $50 all the way up to like $1,500 a month, depending on what you want, what kind of amenities. But I'm going to say the average, and again, I don't know this for sure, and a lot of people might disagree, but that's all right. But the average probably $200 to $250 a month for a nice Western style apartment with some amenities attached. So I'm going to go with that base of $250 for a monthly rent. That should get you a bunch of amenities: free Wi-Fi, free motorbike parking if you have a motorbike, security. A lot of places in that price range have like a cable, and they give you a flat screen TV. Usually they come furnished with, not just the bed, but, they have a couch, they have a coffee table, they have shelves, they have, aircon throughout and all that good stuff. So let's say you're an average single male who's coming over here to retire, or a single person, a person, not just a male, but you're a single person and you're coming over here to retire. And you find a really nice apartment, very comfortable, in a great part of town. Your rent's going to be $250 a month out of your $800 budget. Now, the biggest expense after that, apartment-wise, is going to be your electricity. Electricity is very expensive here. 25 cents per kilowatt hour is typical. So, depending on how much aircon you use, how many electronics you have plugged in, and you need power for all of those, let's say on an average, you're going to spend another $80, let's just say, on electric and water, which are those are the things you'll have to pay in an apartment in that price range. Water is not really an issue, generally $5 a month or less. Water is fairly inexpensive, the water bill. So let's say another $80 a month. That'll bring you up to $250 for the apartment, $330 for your basic living space. Now, when it comes time to go out to eat and your monthly food bill, if you go local, you can save a lot of money. Very delicious food, fresh, hot, delicious, and filling. And that's what I would recommend, but again, that might not be your thing. They do have many Western style restaurants here, and you can certainly eat there. If you're cooking at home, which again I would recommend, but you might want to go to the Western style supermarkets, which are going to be more expensive. But if you go to the local wet markets, where you can get fish and beef and pork and chicken and vegetables and fruit and all your sauces and all your seasonings, and you can get everything there, it'll be a little bit less expensive. Now, I can only base this on me, and even though I'm not single, because of Single Eye, we spend, I don't know, probably $5 to $6 a day on our meals and things to drink. Like I like my caffeine. I get a coffee every day, maybe a Coca-Cola as well. A bottle of Coca-Cola here is like 1,500 real, 37 cents or something. So probably $5-6 a day. But I'll allow for people who want to get more Western style food. So I would say consider $250 a month on average is fair. right? Yeah, so that brings you up a little bit over $500. Almost six right there. As far as entertainment goes, well, again, do you like to go out and party? Do you like to go out and have a few beers at the bars? Or do you like drinking at home? Which is far less expensive, of course. But still, let's say on average you like to go out a couple times a week, and every time you go out you're going to spend another, $20. So that's another 160. So that brings you close to the 800. However, I would advise you to seek out places, and there are many of them. Like you want to go out, you just want to have a few beers, and you want to get like a plate of French fries or some kind of junk food to go with them. There are many places around here that will give you draft beers for 50 cents from opening till closing. As you get further on down toward downtown toward Pub Street and those areas, heavily tourist areas, things do get more expensive. 75 cents instead of 50 cents, sometimes $1 instead of 50 cents for a draft beer. And the food prices, of course, are going to increase the closer you get to downtown as well. So I would advise you to just seek out other places where you can still get the same thing, the same quality, the same taste, but it's just going to be less expensive the further you get from the main downtown area or the other tourist areas. And let's not forget about your visa. You're going to have to renew your retirement visa extension every year at about the price of $300, so that's going to be another $25 a month. So if you add all that together, if I'm doing my math correctly, and I'm not saying I am because I'm not a math guy, but that's going to be less than $800 a month. And as I said, if you have money to spend for more, like I know people who will say, I can't live in Cambodia for less than $1,300, $1,400 a month. That's great. But don't disparage those who can't afford that. Your lifestyle is your lifestyle. Just don't, you don't have to, tell everybody else how they're wrong for spending more or spending less. That's what I'm saying. All right. But yeah, you can live here for, you can live here much less expensive than $800 a month. I mean, if your whole thing is like, listen, I got $800 a month, but I want to save a couple $100, $250 a month, and still live in Cambodia, yes, you can do that. And don't let anybody tell you, no, you can't. You can't do that, because I am proof that you can. I don't make anywhere near even that much. And so, yeah, trust me, you can do it. I guarantee you. No matter what anybody else says, no matter what anybody else thinks, don't let their lifestyle, what they can afford, determine yours. Because I've never felt the need to move into any place bigger or fancier or anything else. I just never felt the need. I don't have a lot of stuff, and we still need to buy a bunch of things for our apartment, cooker and, all that stuff I talked about at the beginning. And so, check out the links down below for PayPal and Ko-fi.com if you can help us out there. But, yeah, Cambodia is one of those countries where there's really no average, there's no set amount you can put on everybody and say, you can live here, but only if you make this much money, or you only have this much money. because you can go low, you can go high. It's all good if you can afford it. I have no problem. I have no problem with people renting a $1,500 a month freaking private villa with their own, where they're the only ones living there with their own special security guard, and they have an Olympic-sized pool, and all the amenities you could ever want. I have no problem with that if they can afford it. But the problem seems to be with people try to make fun of others because they just don't have that amount to spend. And so you hear people saying, you can't live in Cambodia for less than $1,200 a month because, that's how much they spend every month. But everybody's different. Your apartment is going to be different. Where you go to shop is going to be different. The food you eat is going to be different than, steak and lobster every night because you can afford it, and, all that good stuff. So don't let anybody tell you you can't, because yes, you can. And I hope that helps you out. All right. Be sure to check out all my links down below, and including all those other channels you'll see down there that are absolutely fantastic, awesome. And you should definitely check all them out. And from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys from this dark, dark alley in the next one.